First things first, we're going to want to disconnect this battery. Starter's down there, but the starter has a direct, right here. This is a direct line down to the starter because the starter draws the most amps, so it's directly from the battery because it needs the thickest cable. Key being, I want to disconnect the battery so there's no power down there when I go to disconnect the starter. So I'm going to do that real quick here. Oh, it's because she's gooped up. Anyway, so positive first. Now I'm going to disconnect the negative. Negative is disconnected. Alright. So that's done. I'm going to rotate down to where the starter is and see if I can get to this thing. A lot of dirt falling on my face down here. Here's the start. On this truck, it's not hard to get to. My son is dribbling the basketball over there. Just want to see. Okay. So that's a 9/16. All right. Now, you saw me use the hammer earlier just to tap the battery cable off. Not really what I had it for. One of the things that I wanted to show you, I'm not sure if I showed this before, this trick has actually worked with this truck a couple times. The reason I know that the starter is going is it'll just click, and every once in a while it'll kick over, but most of the time I have to do something like this. So what it is this is an older starter that's been sitting for a while, and stuff gets stuck. So you can actually take one of the very few things you could use a hammer for. Take a hammer, just kind of hit it everywhere you can get to it. And then what that'll do is that'll free up this stuff in there a little bit, and a lot of times it'll crank over. Not all the time, but if it starts starting to go, that's one of the tricks to get it to move, especially if it's been sitting for a while. Did that last time, got the truck running, ran it for a while. Once it ran for a while, came back and kept turning it off, turning it back on, turning it off, turning it back on, and it would not start. So, or it kept, I'm sorry, I misspoke. It kept starting. Every once in a while it would just click, but most of the time it would start. But that confirmed that it's the starter. So this thing is definitely on its last legs. I could probably take it apart and clean it, but if I'm going to go through all that trouble on it, I'm probably just going to replace it. I have not worked on this thing in a long time. Haven't worked on any other vehicle in a long time. I usually just take it in to get done. Anyway, I wanted to show that trick because that did work the last time to get this thing running. That's all I got to do is tap it, and then again it'll click, and if you are able to loosen the stuff up in there, sometimes it'll turn over, get you out of a jam. What I should have done while I was running is just take it down to the place that I have do all my auto work and just told them to put a starter in, because then it'd be their problem. But no. So that being said, this is pretty easy to get to. It's not like a newer car. This 94 dually, so I should be able to get to it, take it out, and be able to show you some stuff, maybe. Alright, so I'm back under the truck. Going to tell myself a little bit here. It's been a couple weeks due to life and laziness. Tried a lot of different ways to get in to that starter bolt, and just no matter what, I couldn't get in there very well. And then in thinking about it, it's like, how the heck am I going to get this thing back on if I can't even get to the bolt to take it off? So anyway, the other thing that's been going on with this thing is the the exhaust has been loosening up. You know, there's an exhaust leak and it's coming from like right here, and these bolts have been loosening. I've adjusted that a few times. Also have that, and you know, this nice rusted. It's a whole other story. I Cerakoted this. I coated it, painted it with stuff, so it didn't do this, and sure enough, it did. Not sure why, but anyway, different story. So the other thing that I have going on that I thought about is this thing's been making noise. The Cadillac converter, when it gets warm, it was rattling around. So anyway, I know there's some issues with the exhaust, and the easiest thing to do with that is to kind of just reattach it all. Use different hardware, but also what happens is if I take this off, I have way better access to the starter. Sometimes you got to go backwards to go forwards. So I'm going to take these this section off is the plan. I've juiced up what I could juice up in certain areas just to try to make that easier, and then I will hopefully take this section, which is combined here, and I'll loosen that over there, take that off, and then this Y pipe will come out, and I'll take it back so that I can take the catalytic converter off as well, just to kind of see what's going on with that, give me access to the starter, and hopefully kill a couple birds with one stone. So not quite going all the way backwards, but definitely was trying to avoid that. So most likely it'll take less time to do it this way and have less frustration, as long as I can get these bolts out and this thing comes out okay. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, have that off. Have this one off. So here's the thing. Let's see if I can get you there. There are other things connected here. That's the O2 sensor. This is pretty much rusted together a bit, so that'll be kind of tight to get out. But the other thing I noticed is this hanger is attached to the Y pipe. So what that means is if I take this off, then back here is all going to be floating until there. So the converter and all that stuff's just going to hang down. Not great. So if I do break this loose, then that's going to fall. But also, you know, I disconnected this, which is, you know, fine. I can get that out most likely. But everything kind of gets worse if I put some pressure on that. Don't want to really bend or break anything here. So as I'm reassessing, as happens all the time when you're doing this kind of stuff, this moves, and I can see the bolt for the starter up there much better. It is right there. Oops, you can't see it. It's right there. And being able to rotate this and move it may allow me to have enough room. I can obviously fit my hand in there now.
I might be able to get to it without disconnecting O2 and having that break and having everything else break and make this much more difficult. And still successfully reattach these, put new bolts in here, and fix that issue. So this is the bare minimum that I need to do to kind of fix both problems. I'm trying to avoid making more work and getting into a bigger project than I really want to get into. So I'm going to see if I can't get up in there, get that bolt loose, get the starter out, and then fight with getting it back in if I can. So let's see what we got. That bolt's out. Looks like it. Looks more promising than it has in the past. Of course I have no idea. Oh wait. That is not that. Oh wait, maybe it is. Let's see if we can get up in there. Oh yeah. Good thing I have small hands. Nope, I don't. No, let's see. Oh wait, there are 2 bolts there. Huh. Now that I can see, there are definitely 2 bolts. So which one? What in the... Oh, the lower one. It's definitely the one I want. Okay. Well, I definitely couldn't see that before. So I would have spent a lot of time loosening the wrong bolt. That would have sucked. Let's see what happens. Going through a swivel with an impact, probably not a good idea. Also look at this side. And hopefully I don't know if that's okay. Almost hurt. I'm going to go for the back one first because it's the hardest. Okay. So that bolt loosened nicely. Could it be? Oh, I gotta get past that. That's not gonna work. You can't see any of this because, well, tires. Ooh, maybe. Maybe. Yay. Okay. So it is a 1/2 inch smaller. I'm gonna make sure, yep, I still got the front bolt on. Take this one all the way out. Gives you a better view. Sorry about the worst one before. Anyway, got to figure out how to get in all this. So let me continue to get this bolts out in the back. All right, so. Gosh, that is. Okay, that's loose. What I'm going to do is try to keep that bolt there. Actually, I'm going to go get, so there's a bolt in the back side that you can't see again, sorry. I'm going to get some tape and just tape that there. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Because that'll make it easier just to get a tool on there later if it works, instead of trying to get my hand up in there. That ain't gonna work. It was a good idea. Whatever. I'll still try to keep it in there. So I'm gonna loosen this. So there's that. Start a bolt. It definitely smells like oil under here. Alright, and then get it a better spot. Pull that out. Now I have the battery disconnected. You can see there's quite a bit of lead line here. Yeah, okay. 10mm for the little connection here. We'll go ahead and get that off. Better what's going on. Got this thing here, and then just the nut coming off. So this is the wire that triggers the solenoid.
it's off. I'll go ahead and put that nut back on. Okay, and then we have the feed directly from the battery because this thing draws a lot of amps. Okay. Let's see if we can get this with a little one. If not, I'll have to adjust. This is 14. Okay. Got it. With the washer. The washer go. There's the washer. Washer back on. Pull back on. All right. So this is the top is where you put the feed directly from the battery with the draw, and this is what triggers the solenoid. All right, it's off. These are very important, and I have them here. I'm going to just run some steel wool, try to clean these up a little bit. The other thing I happen to have is some dielectric grease from something. I don't know. Oh, it's the battery stuff, doing batteries. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit of that on as well. Just to kind of help. Just put this in. And with those terminals. Again, batteries off. Okay. You can see there's a tab on there. Pull it in. Just tab prevents that from twisting, so it goes on that way. This one on as well. Just had the wrong one. 10 here. And you can see here, this is where that fix was done prior. So this used to have a spade connector that would just connect into what used to be a spade terminal off of here, just not as secure. So this has already been done with one of the past starters. That's why I didn't have to do that on this one. All right, so I just have my hand underneath this, so not all the weight is on it. You can hang it from the thicker wire, but I prefer not to do that. I mean, more than I'm doing it already, I guess. I have my inch pound set on this, based on recommendation. Okay, that one's good. And what's it doing? 95 to 115. Unlock. Twisting this to get to the setting of, it says 95 to 115. I'm just gonna that's 110. I'll go ahead and just do 110 on this one. The new ones has to be held. I could do that when it's on there, I guess. All right. There we go. That's the 100. Now, I have this bolt that I put back in here so I didn't lose it. I'm going to lift the starter up into position, making sure the wiring doesn't get all jacked up. So it's there. Get that started. Okay. Wires look fine where they're at. Just gonna go ahead and hand tight this. Okay, because the better this stays in place, the easier it should be to start to lock back with. Okay, so leaving that bolt up in the back helped out a great deal. I can get to it. But it's really hard to get my finger in there. So what I'm going to do is grab my 1/2 inch, which should be rolling around on the ground somewhere randomly. Oh, it's way over yonder. I gotta go get it. This. Lots of rust. Well, not lots of rust, but definitely rust. And this is, we'll take the ratchet off. I'm just going to use this as my fingers if I can get on there. Start this boat because I can't really get in there. So I have the socket on there. I'm just turning the socket from the extension because again I can't get my fingers in there, so I'm just hand tightening it, but using the extension and socket to do it. Hopefully that's maybe working. Yep, it definitely looks like it's working. So I turned that one in. Oh yeah, that was a really good idea leaving that up there. And then just using the extension as my fingers, because I can't get my fingers up in there. Rotating the extension with the swivel on it. Whew. All right. Maybe. Okay, I feel the end. I feel the end. Because I needed both hands, I put the ratchet on here just so I could tighten that up. Yep, and see how that's not rocking. I just needed to push this up to take the slack out to make sure it was connecting the way it should. And it is. Alright, so now while I have this ratchet on here, not ratchet, socket, and the extension is already there. Going to go ahead and torque this. Now, here's the deal. I am torquing this through an extension and what's the thing that the swivel. So it is not going to be as accurate as it could be, for sure. It says 16 to 20 foot-pounds. Now, here's the thing. I have an inch-pound torque wrench. Inch-pound. However, my inch-pound torque wrench goes up to, let's see if I can see it. Goes up to 250. So here's the deal. Inch pounds, foot pounds. 12 inch pounds in 1 foot pound. Inches in feet. Same kind of concept. So if it says 20 foot pounds, 20 times 12 will give me my inch pounds, which is 240. So I'm going to set this at 240. And hopefully this does the trick. There's just too much wobbliness. Okay. And then alright, so back seems good. Now we're just going to do this front here. Okay. Says it's all it needs. Here's what I want to do real quick. I would love to just start this thing up with open headers, just to see what it sounds like. Open headers just means you don't have the back exhaust, and it just comes right out. Right here, it'll be loud. Problem with that is the O2 sensor is back here further, and I really don't want to mess anything up by not having the O2 set up. It shouldn't really matter. It should go closed loop and still run, but just to play it safe, what I want to do is kind of halfway put a couple nuts and bolts on the exhaust to hold them roughly in place without putting everything back, fully back, because I do want to hook up the battery and make sure this works before I completely cinch everything down. But right now what I'm going to do is just get this back in place. It just helps with corrosion and that kind of stuff. And the dielectric doesn't hinder the electric signal. Negative first. Okay, fully work better. Just want to make sure it doesn't wiggle. It doesn't. And then we'll put the positive on. Okay. Solid. 1, 2, all accessories are on, so this should trigger the starter. First couple it didn't, but I think that's because it was, the teeth had to sync up, so I kicked it a couple times and then it lined up, but
Hopefully that's not a recurring thing. A little bit loud, because again, okay, don't want to keep that running because the exhaust is going to get hot and I need to button all that up, but starter works. See why you don't trust impact wrenches? Okay. These, I don't know if they're shouldering out. Hopefully that doesn't leak. But if nothing else, we should have a better chance. Now, for the exhaust things, I'm not as concerned. So, impact it is. So I have good news and bad news. Good news, starter works, truck works, took it for a ride. Bad news is, well, the dash is kind of busted. So figured I'd go take a ride and then maybe get some gas, push this in, and it just went right through the dash. And then I realized the dash was loose, and then I pulled that off. Alright, so the truck's 30 years old. I'm not going to really worry about it too much. I could buy a new bezel or a new face. Maybe I'll look and see how much that is. You know, if it's 20 bucks. I might do that. Most likely it's not 20 bucks. It's more. And if that's the case, whatever. Even if it is 20 bucks, it's 20 bucks I don't need to spend. I am going to try to fix that. I have some epoxy putty, and that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. That's for a different video though. So the starter works, starter's in. I don't have the exhaust leak right now. I'll have to check, run it a little bit more, tighten up those bolts, make sure that doesn't start leaking. I mean, it's got a little bit of a, might be a little bit of a leak over there. I don't know. Those bolts that I got, they have a shoulder on them, and I could see it almost bottoming out when I was tightening it. I don't know if it's tight against the shoulder. If it is, then it doesn't move. It didn't move before, but I'll check it because maybe that rotated. If it did, that tells me I was tightening against the shoulder and not necessarily against the flange itself. Because the shoulder was pretty long on it, which is a little bit surprising. So that's possible with those helper bolts, whatever that I got, with the thing that goes on the nut. I could use different bolts with those, without the shoulder if that's the case, so not a big deal, but I'm going to have to check that out and go from there. But we're going to call this a success. Starter is in, truck starts. I'll tell you, the first couple times I turned the key and it went, I went, oh crap, did I just do all of this for nothing because the starter's actually not bad? But then I was like, well, it's got to sync with the flywheel. So my theory is the first couple times it hit and didn't mesh with the gears, right? So it just kind of needed a couple times of doing that to where now it meshes with the gears, because ever since then I've turned it over. I haven't had the issue. In fact, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to do it again now. Yeah, there hasn't been a single issue with it. But yeah, that's a little bit nerve-wracking, I'm not going to lie. So, we'll see. I did get the other one when I hit it with a hammer a few times. I got the other one to work kind of ish consistently. I don't know.
not consistently for a little bit, and then the next time you went out there, it didn't work. So I am still, starter's in, bolts are in, I know what I have to do. I won't feel really, really good about it until I start this thing like 15 times and never have an issue. But that's just me. And I have another video to do to fix the dash. I guess it's good that I have physical things to do when I'm trying to do things that are, you know, using my hands more than my brain. I'm not sitting at a desk all day. Kind of wish it was fun stuff. Anyway, for another time. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this helped. If nothing else, maybe it was entertaining. Either way, that's fine. See you later.